So I just finished Mike Carey's The Girl with All the Gifts, and I loved it. And I loved it despite the fact that it jumps on the girl bandwagon. We've already got Gone Girl, Girl on the Train, Girl with a Dragon Tattoo, Brown Girl Dreaming, How to Build a Girl, Not That Kind of Girl, Funny Girl, A Girl is a Half-Formed Thing, Me and Earl and the Dying Girl. I love this book despite the fact, and I almost hesitate to tell you this because I know some of you are going to have a knee-jerk reaction and say, no, that's it, I'm out, but it is set in a post-viral zombie apocalypse. I know, we've pretty well reached peak zombie. It's gotten to the point where we don't even refer to them as zombies anymore. In the book, they're referred to as hungries, but elsewhere we've used virals, the infected, and of course the walking dead. But I do like the science behind this. It's a mutated strain of Ophiocordyceps, which is the zombie ant fungus that was so brilliantly and grimly detailed in the BBC series Planet Earth, narrated by Sir David Attenborough. It explains that the infected ant, if it isn't carried off by another ant before it can infect anyone else, is compelled, zombie-like, to climb to a highest point, where it eventually dies, a horrible, crippling death. Shortly after, a fruiting spore erupts out of the dead insect, a la Chestbuster in Aliens, and it grows to a certain point until it can release spores that cascade downwards, infecting other ants, and the process is repeated. It's especially virulent and can destroy an entire colony if it isn't dealt with. The fungus itself is species-specific, with different strains infecting different types of insects. It's compelling science, and it is what fuels the end of the world in the video game The Last of Us. And I guess it does have roots in probability, considering that over 60% of human viruses have their origins in the animal kingdom. Now, of course, the gap between insects and humans is fairly large, but it can in fact work its way up the food chain. Or we can just erase the middleman entirely. In China, they're actually consuming the cordyceps fungi already as a type of herbal remedy to help improve lung and kidney function. So, crap. You know what? I digress. I've probably told you too much already. Just suffice it to say, it opens up with 10-year-old Melanie, who loves her classmates, books, stories about Greek myths, but she especially loves her teacher, Miss Justino. And from there, we're introduced to an ever-expanding world. We're treading familiar territory, so it's a credit to Carey that he's created such a compelling story. Even the characters themselves fall into very familiar tropes, but it's a solid read from beginning to a very satisfying finish. And of course, it's already being made into a movie called She Who Brings the Gifts. Mike Carey is actually the screenwriter for the movie, and I love the casting of Glenn Close as Carolyn Caldwell. So, another great horror book that's worth checking out before the movie in 2016. Cheers.